Please subscribe to Alco Kubwa TV on YouTube channel. Thank you.
Very heavy threat to cope with having, a peaceful home. Okay. Now, so many of you here are actually thinking of marriage, and you are going to marry. Do we all know that the fruit, the gift of the fruit of the womb, actually comes from where? God. From God. The gift of the fruit of the womb comes from God for your baby. What did I mean by that? When I say the sex of your baby, what do I mean? Determinant of you having a baby boy or a baby girl does not lie on your, in fact, your wife is not the determinant that you should have a baby girl or you should have a baby boy. Your wife is not the determinant. I don't know if you are hearing that. Your wife is not the determinant, but some men, the moment your wife is giving birth, and maybe they are all, female, so to say, girl child. I have heard of a friend whose wife gave birth to a baby, and you're telling her, this has to be a baby boy this time. And when the woman was in labor, the man walked to her and said, I hope you remember what we agreed, that it has to be a baby boy this time. And the woman went to the hospital. Unfortunately for the young man, it turned out to be a baby girl. And he refused to go to the hospital and bail them, to pay the bill and bring them home. Now, for some of you that are relatively learned or that are inclined to medical process or how it happens biologically, is it on the side of the woman to make the baby in her womb a baby boy or a baby girl? In fact, a medical has proven that everything lies even with the man. Is it the X and the Y? Good. Chromosome? Good. If you give her X, she gives you the sex that is meant for that. If you give her Y, she gives you the one that is meant for that. So they are all in you, the man. It's not the determinant of the sex of your baby. But ignorantly, if your wife is giving birth to baby girl or baby boy, and you want to hold her responsible, it means you are the problem of the family. And many men have thrown their wife out of their home because she has not been able to give them baby boy. So your wife's ability to give you a particular sex is not lying on her. Rather, it is God that is the determinant. Those that were ignorant are fathers. If there are people that have been fighting over this generation of ours should be what? Should be different. The level of knowledge we have now is different from the level of knowledge they had. So for you at your level, digital children, to wake up and tell your wife, why are you giving me only girl child? It means you are ignorant. And you are a disgrace to this generation. I don't know if you are hearing that. If you walk to your wife to blame her, if she's giving birth to a particular sex, a girl or boy, and say, okay, I'm going to leave you, I'm going to do this, I'm not going to care for them, you are a disgrace to this generation because you ought to have known more than that. This great threat to peace in the home, to produce baby, it is gift from the Lord. If God decides to give you babies, fantastic. If he decides that he's not giving you for now, it's left for him. He knows what is appropriate for you at a particular time. Are we still there? He knows what is appropriate for you at a particular time. And again, if you are truly born again, if you're truly a Christian, yes, I know that the flesh will always fight. But if you are, submissive to the will of God, you can actually still produce so many other children. Why you don't have your own biology, why you may not have your own biological child, you could still have so many other children. I don't know if you're here. Okay, let us read through the book of Psalms quickly. Psalms 127, 3 to 5. Psalm 127, 3 to 5. Now it goes with okay, I would have said we read also from Proverbs 19:14, but maybe we'll come there later. Check what is there for me.
House and riches are inheritance of Proverbs 19:14.
Yes.
Okay, house and riches are inheritance of the fathers, and the prudent wife is from the Lord.
We will come back to that place. Children are heritage from the Lord. So if children are not forthcoming in your marriage, and you think the problem is from your wife, or you think the problem is from your husband, you are missing it. You are missing it. Because there is no man. There is no man. My friend got married, and I think within 3-4 years he was already having about 4 children or 3. And another friend of ours walked to him and said, "Kai, oh boy, now wow, you sabi do this thing, oh." And the guy said, "It is not I sabi do this thing. There are men that does it more than me, but one single child, they cannot be able to do what? To produce." I don't know if you're getting it. It comes from the Lord. Until you are able to know that children are heritage from God, you will keep blaming your wife, or blaming your husband, or blaming your mother-in-law, or is there any mother-in-law that is capable of stopping you from giving birth? Is it possible? It's not possible. If it is possible, then God is not God. There is no man or woman born of flesh that is capable of tying your womb that you are not going to give birth, as long as you are buried in Christ. How would that happen? Do you know who is God? There is nowhere anyone will go to say you will not be able to bear children, and you are rooted in God, and that thing will work. It's not possible. So nobody is capable of tying your womb to say you will not bear children. No, because you are Christ. Because you are Christ. It's not possible. However, if one factor will lead to another factor, and you are not having your own biological children, it is not the end of the road. It is not the end of life. If you are truly a Christian and a particular thing is happening to you, what do? There is this word. If management, or if something is going wrong, I have always heard people say, "Let us go back to what? To the drawing board." Let's go back to the drawing board. What is the meaning of that? Go back to your Creator. Taking it from the biblical aspect of things, go back to your Creator. Go back. Talk to Him. Speak with Him. What does God want for you? How does He want to use your marriage? You and your wife could come together. It happened to a woman like that. All her life as a young lady, she was so wayward that she committed abortions, and At a point, the doctor told her she was not going to, in fact, that her womb was damaged. So when the brother came, she didn't hide it. Were you the one that told us? You were not the one. She didn't hide it. She said it. Okay, you are not the one. She told the young man, this is my situation, this is my condition. The young man went and prayed again, got his conviction, and what happened? He married her. And truly, children were not coming. But do you know what they did? Oh my God. They started gathering children and people and evangelizing, preaching to them, converting so many souls to Christ, winning so many souls of children. They tailored their ministry towards children. And so they began to produce so many spiritual children. Do you know what happened at the end? She conceived and had her own baby. There is no impossibility in the palace of God. Everything is possible in the arena of God. But even if that did not happen, come on. Let me tell you this. You might be having up to 10 children, biologically. You go to heaven, you don't have one. Is it possible or not? Because some of our children, they are converted to Christ by other brothers and sisters. Why is it that most of our children doesn't accept Christ until they go to camp? Have you ever thought of that? Have you ever thought of that? You try to lure and cajole and what again? You know, I wouldn't want to use the word deceive and pet, you know, and pamper and beg your child to go to camp. Because your belief is that from the camp, the child might be arrested. What you cannot do at home, you push that responsibility to other people to go and do. But I put it to some of you who are there. If you are a young man or woman, you have not accepted Christ. Have you heard about the theory of Blaise Pascal, a French philosopher? What did he say in his theory? He said it is safer for a man to live in believing God. Because this is what he brought out in his theory. Blaise Pascal, he said, if you accept God, that the Christians are preaching, the only thing you will lose on earth here is nothing but certain pleasures. What are those pleasures? The pleasures of, you know, drinking, you know, and enjoying yourself, isn't it? The pleasures of probably fornication, the pleasures of probably adultery, the pleasures of probably choir, tramadol, that you call enjoyment, you understand? Believing God will deprive you of those things. Are you getting it? He said, it is also gainful if eventually you die, and that God exists. I don't know if somebody is hearing me. If you believe God today, you can only lose certain pleasures, right? But if you refuse to believe and you die, and eventually there is heaven, and there is also God, you will lose eternity. And the lost at that level will be worse than losing certain pleasures on earth here. I am not quoting Bible here. This is a reality. I don't know if you heard what I said. It's a reality. So if I can deprive myself of certain pleasures here and believe God, and I go to heaven and there is God and there is heaven, I gain eternity, I gain God, I gain heaven. But if I will refuse to believe God, and I think I want to take, like Moses said, what did Moses refer to? The pleasures of this world. What did he say? A particular word there. He said it's a moment. Not just, it's a moment. It's momentary. It doesn't last. So if I can deprive myself of the moment pleasures of this world today, and I gain heaven, and I gain God, I think I am a winner compared to where you are. So today when they are begging you, because of what's up, how you doing, man? Cool, man. If you believe Jesus, if you are a Christian, can't you still say cool again? If I call you and I say, what's up, boy? How you doing? Have you read the book of James today? The Bible condemn him. Abah, what is the problem? What is it? Look at the embarrassment some of you are bringing for your parent. Very stubborn. If care is not taken, I pray that God forgive you. Your daddy is trying. Your mama is trying. Your mama is known as a woman leader. Eninu, isn't it? Your daddy is known as a honorable and hallowed bishop in the vineyard of Christ. When he speaks, people listen. But you have become a thorn in the flesh of your daddy and you are not ashamed. You still call that guy. Some of you here, some of you, the moment your name is mentioned, your daddy's head is brought down. True or false? It happens. In fact, some of you coming to Abuja here, it is stubbornness that brought you. True or false? Go to school, mbanunu. Write your wife, mbanunu. F9. F9. Then the next thing you call your friend, what's up? How you doing? Come to Abuja, you come. Choir. You carry Okada, you carry wheelbarrow, you carry security. My truth is always bitter for some of you. But that will not stop me from saying it. How can you be so disobedient to your parent and expect God's blessing? Or is it possible? He said, children, obey thy parent, and thou shalt do what? You prosper. I didn't just, he said, it is the first word. In first commandment, we promise blessings. Promise of blessings are contained in it. God will help our understanding. Amen. Obey your parent and see how God will surprise you. When your daddy wakes up to say, oh, God bless you. Oh my God, it goes a long way. It goes a long way. When your mommy wakes up to say, oh, God bless you, it goes a long way. Barrenness is a threat to peace in the house. But if you're a Christian, live your life, submit to the will of Christ, and leave the rest for God. Maybe he wants you to have spiritual children. What took me there? I said you might have even up to 10 of your own, but in heaven you have none. Because you are not even able to win any of them to Christ. Others, they are Sunday school teacher, from the camp, from the church, other brothers, other sisters. It will not be your portion that your own talk will be very bitter to your children. God forbid. I don't know if you heard that. That I will call my child to talk to Prince. How are you? Say, Daddy, leave me. What is the problem? He shall never over it. Is it possible? As you see them, they are like pistols. These young men, they are like gun. In fact, set to trigger. The moment they see, they shoot. If they don't see, put a gun for 10 years and you don't touch it. Ulit pum pum. Ulit pum pum. November. The ladies that have toasted you stop you and say, hi, I like you. Are they up to 10? Are they up to 5? Toast you, say, come, I like you. They're up to 2 or 3. Your own is less. But if I tell Mercy now, from January to this November, how many young men have stopped you to say, hi, baby? She can mention up to 20, if not 100. Isn't it? So we are even more problem to them than they are to us. We must be careful as God's children. Let us live there. Because I don't know if we still have more time. Barrenness. Be committed to the will of God and God will take you through. No matter what comes up, no matter what happens, don't think that God is not with you. Now read that place again. Let us take something from there. Talking about prudent wife. Proverbs chapter 19, right?
Yes, sir.
Verse number 14.
House and riches are the inheritance of fathers.
House and riches are the inheritance of what? Fathers.
A prudent wife is from the Lord.
And a prudent wife is from the Lord. Now, first of all, what is prudent? Prudent is wise, circumspect, wisdom, transparent, good, prudent. Now, look at the A part. It said houses, riches, vehicles, other material things that helps on earth here. You can inherit them from where? From your father and the son, and produce his wife and produce her husband. Is it possible? No! You cannot born, you have a boy, and then you born his wife for him. Is it possible? No! So your daddy can, have you access to so many riches, but your daddy cannot give you a prudent wife. Your daddy cannot give you a prudent husband. It's not possible. It comes from the Lord. And that is why we must seek for the will of God. Because if you don't seek for his will and you miss it, oh my God. Now, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I think I've demonstrated this here before. If I drop these slippers and I take this, is it possible? Can I go to National Assembly like this, Okpani? You can't. If you take you that was not made for you, you are going to be, oh my God, it's going to be like this. Pepper grinded, poured into fire. The door of the room is shut and only you is inside. Envisage the experience. Pepper grinded, poured into fire. The door is shut, only you inside the room. Envisage the experience. No ventilation. No ventilation. Yes, no ventilation. Because such a woman is referred to as a rotten bone. That is cancer. Many people are facing it. But I pray, hence you've not married, it shall not be your portion. Amen. Many people are facing it. Having a rotten bone. Cancer of the bone. What a pain. What a pain. What a pain. Honey, is there nothing to eat? Honey, am I your nanny? Honey, you should have cooked. Honey, I don't cook. You gave money, I gave money. I don't know if you're getting anything there. Your wife telling you, you gave money, I gave money. I pray that will not be your portion. It sounds funny today, but if you fall to it, then you are doomed. But I pray you will not. You know why? You still have opportunity. You have not married. If you had married, I would have said you are holding what you're holding. But because you've not married, you still have the opportunity for adjustment. You still have the opportunity to get it right. Take if you are not appropriate for one another. What do you do? Because that is the next discussion. You are married, but you've just discovered that the two of you are not meant for one another. What do you do? That's the question here. That's the question. You are married already. I do. Mele, mele, mele. But you have discovered that the two of you are not meant for one another. What do you do? What do you do? It's a question. This voice is becoming the type that Peter rebuked. Was it Peter or Paul?
Well, when you look at it, going by the lecture so far, and the portion of time and to be committed to God, I think God can revive the trust.
Good. You said commit it to God. But you discover the two of you are not meant for one another. What do? Talk to us. Good. You feel that marriage is more of enjoyment than endurance. And the enjoyment is no longer there. Not just not there, but you discover the two of you are not meant for one another. What do? Go your separate ways. Oh my God, clap her for her. Look at these children. Bro Timothy, did you hear her response? It's dangerous, right? Don't clap. What are you clapping for? She just spoke her mind, and I love you for that. Always speak your mind. If you discover that the two of you are not meant for one another, she said they will have to go their separate ways. Any other response?
The only thing is just to pray for God's grace to endure the marriage.
The only thing is just to pray for God's grace to endure the marriage.
Whether you die or God will.
Like you can only endure cancer. Any other response?
You first endure. Because you endure. Even the time we are praying to God, you have already endured. You supposed to have to endure and endure. Then you continue to talk to God. Maybe God will intervene.
Go now. Go. It's okay. Okay, fine. Thank you. Now, I will give you one scenario. In your room, you've just discovered that there is a snake or a scorpion in your room. You've just seen it in your room. Now I ask this question. Will you get something to kill it immediately? Or you come and sit down and you're like, oh, I'll kill this snake. I have to kill this snake. In fact, this snake has to be killed. Which of the two will you do? You kill it immediately, right? Yes. You kill it immediately. Fine. So that is what we have here. Said you have discovered, because it will not just happen. You cannot just look at somebody you've already said I love so much. I desire you, I love you. And then just weeks later or months later, you discover the two of you are not meant for each other. There must be something, 1, 2, 3, 4 things you notice in him or in her that has made you to say we are not meant for one another. True or false? Fine. So there must be something that has come up. What do? You get your weapon to do what? To deal with that thing. Listening to this point is very vital, because it happens often in marriage. After a week or two, or 1 or 2 weapons of dealing with such situations. Weapon. I'll mention it, and it will not look like a weapon to you. Hello? I'm going to mention it, but I am sure it is not going to look like a weapon to you. Number one, because of course you have identified the problem, isn't it? You have seen that this is a problem. So number 1, prayer. Does prayer look like a weapon to you? Does it? Prayer.
Are you talking about after the marriage?
After your marriage, you just discovered some things making you to say we are not meant for one another. But you've married already. So, that option of separation, the Bible is against it. So we don't recommend it. It's not possible. I don't know if you're getting it. Any man of God that will recommend that a husband and wife separate has not properly read his Bible. Because it's a dangerous recommendation. I don't know if you're getting it. Very, very dangerous. Because if you see the circumstances that surround separation, you will not recommend it to anybody. As a man of God, you cannot recommend it. Because even when you divorce, when you leave yourself, the Bible says if the woman needs you, it's a debt. You still have to go and pay her. And if the man needs you, it's a debt. You have to still go and pay him. And if mistakenly you leave him, and the woman sees you, oh wow, and he begin to care, he begin to love, he begin committing what? Adultery. How can you live perpetually in adultery as a child of God? It's dangerous to leave your wife. Because if you leave her before she crosses this gate, that woman you think, oh my God, that woman you think is useless, is nonsense, is senseless, is good for nothing. Another man will see her and bait her, polish her, shine her, take her in, pamper her, and baby her. And when you see your wife not be your portion, never leave your wife for any reason. Never leave your wife for any reason. Because you can transform her to what you want. You see another person's wife and you're admiring her. Do that thing that the man has done, the husband has done to make you admire her. Do it to your own wife. And you also will begin to shine. I don't know if you're getting it. Do it. And if not get, you never get for your own to shine like that. Bear them now. At the same shoe, everybody they wear. Everybody they drive the same motor. There are cars I refer to as glorified wheelbarrow. So if you are still driving glorified wheelbarrow, manage it. When the vans are come, take it. I don't know if you're getting it. Prayer is a weapon. That's the first thing to do. But when you pray, Christians, we used to deceive ourselves. Prayer doesn't work all alone. God has made you according to his, not just his image, he said, in his divine nature. Oh my God. Do you know what it means to be a divine nature of God? Do you know the meaning? His divine nature. We are carrying the fire that is in God. We have ability as God's nature. We have the ability. Do you understand? So when you are praying, there are things you need to do. For example, humility. You cannot take your ego to be a man and a good husband. It's not possible, sir. Ego. You know what is ego? You know, they see my shoulder. Ego. Pride. You want to be say, I am the one in charge here. For example, now your wife say, honey, I want to visit my mom next month. And you come out with your ego to say you are going nowhere. For what? You are going nowhere. The woman will come and sit down. She will not go because you are the head. But something is going to happen. It is going to affect the peaceful what? Coexistence between the two of you. I don't know if you're getting it. You don't just say, you are not going. I am the man. You are, no. I just gave that as an example. When you are praying, you have to bring down your ego. By the time you bring down your ego, that will enable you to be able to say, I'm sorry. To be able to say, oh, please. To be able to say, can you? May I? These are the weapons I was trying to talk about. I don't know if you're getting it. Polite words. Calm down. This lady was given birth to by another parent. Una grow together. Even you and your brothers, una know the quarrel. You and Idoka, una never shout for yourself before. Una dey shout for yourself, ba? Una dey reconcile. So you dey forgive am from your heart, whole heart, because na your brother. You see, Amba? And when you forgive am, you know they think am again, no. Even tomorrow, you know they think am again, isn't it? You see, because this one not be your brother, another person pikin. You carry record. On the 23rd of November, 1980, that was how you did the same thing under that bridge at Bega. I still remember. You write it. Hey, 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 hey. But they say love does not take account of waiting there, do am. Wrongly. You write your own. November, so date, 1999. You repeated the same thing. 2005. You have list. Are you ready to be a wife? Eh? Are you ready to be a husband? Eh? The moment you marry as a man, you are referred to in the society as a responsible man. You don't take list of. So if we can actually learn on how to respect each other, do you understand? We will go a long way with ourselves. You don't go with ego to husband house. You don't go with ego to becoming a husband. No, it will not work. If you're not ready to be calm, don't go and marry. It's not all about now you send go Facebook, your IV, your picture, you send and go, hey, congratulations, hey, congratulations, hey, you are happy. There are more to that. What you're entering is institution, university. A university. Una don dey tell me, say they know they graduate. Okay, that you also get a certificate. Before graduation, before you enter, yet you can never graduate. You know it more than I know. God will help us. You are jumping and jumping and jumping. Marriage is sweet, to be frank, it's sweet. Honestly, if you get the right legs together, it's very superb, it's sweet. If you know they pinch you, it's sweet, it's nice. Go and buy a shoe that your leg is bigger than. Your leg is bigger than. You will understand what we are talking about better. And let that shoe in your leg for maybe 1, 2, 3 hours. When others are smiling and you, your own, you are always, before you know, you are looking older than your real age. Don't you know when you always smile, it makes you look beautiful and younger? Don't you know? If you always smile, it brings out your beauty. It makes people to admire you. But when you're always born, frown, you know, before you know, in fact, you are already looking older than your age. God will help our understanding. So what do we do? Pray. And then when you pray, the fight that the enemy has brought, the struggle, the problem, when you pray and you understand these little words of humble yourself before one another, where you are supposed to say please. Because some men are so commanding in nature, so authoritative, because you are married and maybe you are the one working, the wife is not really doing much. You understand? Because the next thing is everything is command. Are you a general? Generals no get wife. Eh? If you are commanding like this, then all the generals, major, colonel, they're not supposed to get wife with that. Because them, they are even used to command right from the office. Please, be humble. Say please where you're supposed to say that. Say I'm sorry where you're supposed to say I'm sorry. Say I'm sorry. A man once said he can never say he's sorry to his wife. That when you tell a woman you are sorry, it means everything has been what? In fact, escalated. That you don't tell a lady you are sorry. You don't tell your woman you are sorry. It's wrong. Where you are supposed to say you are, in fact, tap her. Say, honey, I'm sorry. Where you are supposed to say, may I? Tell her. When you say, may I? You're seeking her permission. It will please her. Oh, my husband is saying, you understand? It will make her happy. Okay? Finally, there they said, if your own has not happened, I want to believe this is not meant for you, but of course it's meant for you. They said, if your own has not happened, you better guide it not to happen. Because it is easier to guide what has not spoiled than to come and repair what has spoiled. I don't know if you understand that. So I was trying to okay, but of course it's still for you because you've not even married at all. You understand? If I am married and my marriage is still going on perfectly, I should be able to guide it. Like what? Egg. Because if you allow it to crash, oh my God, putting it together will be a problem. Do you know why? When there is quarrel, a lot of things happen. Right, Opani? When there is quarrel, you could say things you're not supposed to say ordinarily. Do you know some people, I'm sorry, they prefer you even slap them than you say certain words to them. You cannot swallow those words. Even if the two of you are reconciled, you cannot swallow those things you say to her. You can't. If you mistakenly, what am I even saying? Am I saying go and beat your wife? If you're a woman beater, a wife beater, some people refer to you as a coward. Because other fellow men are out there, you can't even say, hey boy, stop there. People that fear outside like rats, when they get to their house, they become a warrior. It's bad. In fact, in the book of Timothy, the Bible says a servant of God must not do what? Must not quarrel. Then your quarrel is tailored towards your wife. Is bad. So there shouldn't be quarrel at all. But what I'm saying is, if there is quarrel, there are things you say that when you want to make amends, you feel so ashamed. Putting it together is always a problem. Because there are things you say or do that even if the two of you are reconciled, that thing will still be there. It is only God that can forget and forgive and just forget. It's difficult for a mortal man to erase certain things from his or her memory forever. He has it, man. In fact, if you delete some things, I think there are other apps that can bring that thing out. True or false? So there are things you don't tell somebody, there are things you don't do, because even if the person has forgiven you, it will be difficult to forget it. That I drop my money and you steal, I drop again and you steal, and I drop again and you steal, and you confess. You've been stealing at dinner and you confess, and finally you say you have repented. Then on Monday morning I should still go and drop? You have repented. You have apologized, you have confessed. We have reconciled. Then tomorrow morning I should still go and drop. Will you drop? To test what? The ones he has been carrying, did he bring any of them? I have forgiven you, but my money will no longer be there. I don't know if you're getting it. For safety. Don't you know if a man was a drunkard before he became a Christian, you don't use drinks to try him? I don't know if you hear that. A drunkard that has accepted Christ, you don't use drink to test him. I'm not saying tempt. Don't test him with drink. Because he's familiar there. It's his area of specialization. He knows how to turn it around. And now you are bringing it to test him. Especially when it is chilled. You know, sweating round the bottle, you know now. And then you want to use it to test him. Say, sir, actually what? Take it away from him. You hear that? That if a madness is healed, the Zokromoni now, looking at you with bad eye, that one will always be there. That's an adage. God will help our understanding. Any question? Do you have any question? Any question? How will you know after marriage that you and a particular person are not meant for each other? How will you know? No, that, I don't know. That is, if you say, how will you know? That question of how will you know? Or why did it, or how did it happen?
And at the end, you say you are.
For the two of you not to be meant for each other, it means you did not pray properly. Or you pray, but your eyes did not watch. You didn't look. You were praying, but you know, it is said that God should go before us and we behind him. But by the time you are ahead and God is behind you, you are likely, you are praying, no. Oh, Heavenly Father. You are praying. Of course you are praying. But you are ahead of God. I don't know if you are getting it. You are praying and you are saying, oh, my wife should be fair. Okwan, is that prayer? You are praying and you are saying, oh, I prefer chocolate. You are praying and you are saying, I prefer backside. You are praying and you are saying, oh, my wife must be a graduate. You are praying, you are fasting. But you are saying, I can never marry from Benue. Don't girls are wicked. Father, I don't need them. You are praying. Of course, you will not marry. But you are praying. Is that prayer? You have answered yourself. Your error that will always result to you taking the wrong person. However, you said, how will you know if the person is wrong for you? This time, you won't, that answer, you won't get it. But I also pray you will not experience it. Is it difficult for you to get home with somebody and notice that, oh God, I have taken Una Abuja children, you will not understand. Those days in the village, when they share meat, small meat like this, for those of us that grew up in the village, somebody, wicked man, when they share meat, go carry big bone. Ugwa, big bone, they under bone. Correct bone, he can't put them under. Then he look for flesh. Beef, small beef, he just crown them, put them on top. Then you, wait, don't sabi. Maybe you just came from the city, you don't understand the technique. You just see big meat like this, they say choose, you go carry that one wagam. It is only that small beef, that small flesh on it. The remaining ones, you cannot eat it. I don't know if you're getting it. So it's not difficult to detect, oh, my wife is a wrong woman, my husband is a wrong. It's not difficult. Was it not the night of a wedding of a Christian lady that the husband, in fact, while they were leaving church, one carton of beer was already under their bed. Yes. He told her, look, let me tell you, you've been declared my wife. If you try anything, this is what I know how to do. I only came to marry you. I pretended all this while. You are here. Lizzie. Lucy has to cry and cry her eyes out. But I tell you, if you are watching and you are praying, God is not a God of disappointment. The traits are always there. Do you know the meaning of trait? The signs, those little signs, they are always there. But sometimes you are carried away when he comes. Yeah, baby, oh, I don't like your hair to be looking like this now. Bam, 100,000. Oh, honey. Even though his mouth is smelling alcohol, you don't care to know again. 100,000 naira has blocked your eyes. God forgive you.
If it is like that, since you have not reached home, don't do anything, can't you go back?
Wish you home. I said the night of their wedding. Not be the pronoun. I know what she's saying. Something has happened. Something has happened. If nothing has happened, you bring that case before the elders. I'll table it. And in fact, the guy is very wise, very, very technical. He makes sure he succeeded in all his plans. But I pray that will not be your portion. Peep.
Most of because of dating, I think some of those things can be ironed out because of dating. Maybe having a care to marry when courtship for a period of time without having the other way which was being against by Christians, by God. I think we pose some challenges and also she poses her own an area of strength, an area of weaknesses. I think by the time both of you are dating, some of these things can be tabled out.
It works like that. But to be frank with you, some of those things works when the two people marrying are more of adult. You see us young boys and girls like this, especially Christian youth, the kind of speed we carry when we want to marry. You know, there are questions they set for you, especially at the higher institution. They say, with attention to relevance. Who is, have you seen such, did you?
It's an applied question.
Thank you. If you have gone to higher institution, even at WAEC level, you should have seen questions like that. They say, with attention to what? To relevance. Enumerate. You understand? Or the question will come like that. Or explain. If they say, with attention to relevance, that is, it's all about writing this time. Because you are going to write out of point or off point. But giving your attention to points that are important, that are relevant. Explain the nature of so person. Maybe the person setting that question has seen that the core problem in this person is maybe temperament. Temperament is obvious that everyone has seen that his problem is temperament. And the person setting the question say, with attention to relevance, the only thing the person want to see you right is that temperament. Are you getting it? So we are not giving attention to relevance. The relevance are those traits of character, are those things that you are actually coming to live with as your husband, as your wife. But those ones that are not relevant, like the size of her height, the size of her leg, the size of her quintus. What is quintus blessing? Do you know it? Those ones that are not relevant, you put your attention. How he put jabaki, how he put makeup, how he put eyelashes. Are you coming to eat eyelashes? God will help our understanding. We will stop here for today. I pray that the Lord will guide us properly in Jesus' name.
Amen.